Recently, a whistleblower revealed that the NSA has been collecting data on the online and cellular activities of American citizens. This story is the latest in a long line of bad news for this administration. I have Farron Cousins from the Trial Lawyer magazine with me now to talk about what's happening. Farron, all the right-wingers jumping on the bandwagon with the Obama attack in the NSA story. How absurd. I mean, when you really take a look at their history.
It is. You know, it goes back to the whole Bush amnesia that these people are been suffering from for the last 5 years. You know, they didn't want to blame Bush for the economy. They didn't want to blame Bush. Eric Bolling went as far as to say that there were no terrorist attacks during Bush's watch. And it's the same with the NSA story. They forget that just 5 years ago, they were supporting this program when it was George W. Bush's idea. But now that it's Obama's deal, now that Obama is in charge of it, it's one of the worst things that's ever happened to the folks at Fox News.
Isn't it amazing, though, that even beyond Fox News, you don't have reporters asking the question, well, let me get this right, Senator. Let me get this right, Mr. Inside the Beltway pundit. Just a few years ago, when Bush was in charge and we knew that Bush was spying on everybody for everything, we knew that he had paid off Verizon, he had paid off AT&T, he gave them immunity to get all of our records, not some of our records, but all of our records. Where were you, Mr. Pundit? Where were you, Mr. Senator, when that was occurring? It's almost like a brain death by the media, isn't it?
It is. It's very disgusting. You know, these guys were talking about how the NSA spying program was great. It was a necessary tool. Bush was using it correctly. They claimed he was doing it perfectly legally, which he was not. I mean, we have plenty of evidence back then that the whole program was being abused by those running it. And so today, there's really nothing different. Obama's expanded it. But now that Obama's in charge, it's a big deal. Just like everything else the Republicans want to make into a scandal, well, this is just another one.
Isn't part of the story, though, that it's almost like people forgot who Obama was, that he has been, look, he has been at the front of the spook line trying to get all this done for a long time. You know, the spook operations worldwide have never bothered this administration. I mean, even before he was a president.
Right. Obama has gone back and forth on this issue so many times. It's, you know, depends on which week, what position he's going to take. But back in 2008, he actually voted to expand the FISA Act. And let me read you this quote from Obama, what he said when he cast that vote expanding this program back when he was a senator. In a dangerous world, government must have the authority to collect the intelligence we need to protect the American people. But in a free society, that authority cannot be unlimited. As I've said many times, an independent monitor must watch the watchers to prevent abuses and to protect the civil liberties of the American people. This compromise law assures that the FISA court has that responsibility. The ability to monitor and track individuals who want to attack the United States is a vital counterterrorism tool, and I'm persuaded that it is necessary to keep the American people safe. Given the choice between voting for an improved yet imperfect bill and losing important surveillance tools, I've chosen to support the current compromise.
Right. Okay. So the point being that it's almost like there's this sense of awe that this administration would actually spy on Americans, but just taking a look at from the very beginning, we see that this has always been his notion, that we have to have this balance of power. That we, at the same time, we got to have checks and balances. We have, you know, as he likes to say, a dangerous world, and in that dangerous world, we have to balance the 14th Amendment. We have to balance right to privacy. He's a constitutional lawyer. These have always been his parameters, and it's almost as if we ignored all that when he was running for president. We never asked the tough questions, did we?
We did. And during the primaries back in 2008, he came out and said, look, I'm going to put a stop to this. And the first major red flag, first of all, should have been that 2008 vote where he said, this is necessary. We're in a dangerous world. We have to do this. I'm voting for a bill, even though I know that this bill isn't any good. But furthermore, back in 2011, he expanded, reauthorized the Patriot Act yet again, just continuing those Bush-era policies. I remember actually last week, you and I had a conversation where we said the best we can hope from Obama is that things just don't get worse. And unfortunately, it looks like that's the case. I mean, we're seeing all these Bush policies being carried over: Guantanamo, the war on terror, the NSA, everything.
Farron, in about 30 seconds, we don't hear apologies about any of this. We hear that, gee whiz, we've accomplished a lot. Now, that may be the case. You know, it's kind of hard to prove a negative. We don't know what has been accomplished by this limitless spying that is all attributed to this administration in a FISA court that is completely unregulated. We don't have any idea what these FISA judges are deciding. But there is a point that balance is important, but right now we don't even have all the facts to judge that balance, do we?
No, exactly. And like you point out, you know, it's not just Obama. This entire program was approved by Congress. It was approved by the courts. You have every branch of government saying, hey, you know what, this is okay. Both parties, hey, this is okay. So everybody needs to wake up and realize that it's not just Obama, it's not just Bush, it's our elected leaders, our congressmen, our senators, our judges, everybody.
Every day, Farron, they're out there talking about the wisdom of this without any discussion on the other side that's really meaningful. Thank you for joining me, Farron Cousins.
Thank you.